process, there is a sender, there is a receiver. The sender sends a message to the receiver through a channel. The receiver gives back feedback. Sometimes in the communication process, the message is not received due to barriers. It is important that we are aware of the relevance of body language, as it could cause communication barriers.
Could you tell us about your work experience and the language barriers you face?
Yeah, no problem. I work from the Eccles area office with a team of customer service advisors dealing with people over the phone or over the reception service as well. And we deal with obviously a wide variety of the public who language barriers, but also other communication barriers as well. We've got customers that are deaf, we've got customers that are unable to speak, so we do deal with a wide range of people.
How do you put your customers at ease when faced with language barriers?
I think it's quite good just to be quite confident and calm when they come in, so they feel like you know what you're doing, you have done it before. Talk very slowly and clearly, and hope obviously they can understand some of the words you're saying.
9 times out of 10 when they come to the counter, they do make it apparent that they're not very good at speaking the language, which, you know, it's fine. We'll try and see how we go. Obviously, if we come up against something, then we'll maybe use language line. Making them feel more at ease, and obviously telling them, you know, we'll go as far as we can.
And what if somebody was hard of hearing or had some other sorts of physical problem? What would you do in...
Well, the first thing we'd do is go into an interview room where it's a little bit more private for them, so that they're not feeling uncomfortable, where there's an audience of people watching them, try and put them at ease. And obviously if they're hard of hearing as well, that enables them to have a more secure background where there's not as much noise interfering in the background. We do have a hearing loop that we can use if customers are hard of hearing, and it's like a device that you put between yourself and the customer, and they can change their hearing aid to a T setting, which means that it just sort of enhances the sound and they can hear a little bit clearer.
How quickly do you feel that you can identify a language barrier when you're approached by someone?
Sometimes it's quite easy due to sort of if a customer's mute or deaf, then they'll usually have a card on them, or usually you can tell by the way they're trying to communicate with you by using sign language. But if it is a different nationality, then obviously they may try and explain that, and then you can bring them a card and try and ask them to point out which nationality they are, and then obviously you can go from there to try and get help from either a translator, or if you can get anything wrote down where they can see it and understand it.
If, say for instance, somebody came into the office or over the phone and they were speaking very quickly and you couldn't understand what they were saying, what would you do in that?
It's quite hard if they're talking obviously very quickly, you can't understand them. Sometimes you need to sort of interrupt them politely and just ask them, can they slow down and sort of repeat stuff, just to explain, and then you can fully receive the message, so then you can try and help the tenant in which way they do want to receive help, if it be a repair or they have a problem with a rent. And so just ask them mainly to slow down if they don't understand you. Once again, just try and write anything down, that always does help, because if you have it in text, then obviously then you can read through it and try and make sense of it.
And do you think it puts the customer more at ease if you can sort of pronounce the surname rather than...
I do try.
If I was a customer and I told you my name, would you be able to repeat it? You think? Would you like to try?
You're going to put me on the spot now. I think I would.
It's Zgrabczyńska.
Okay, can you spell that for me?
That's a good one. I would perhaps look and see if the first name was easier to pronounce.
Example, if you saw Miss Zgrabczyńska on a piece of paper and you had to phone me,
Would
what
probably
would you do?
use perhaps sir or ma'am.
If I already knew the name, I'd introduce myself when I answered the phone call. Introduce myself first of all and just ask, could they who was I speaking to, so once they confirm their name, if you have it wrote down, then obviously you can tell it is that person you are speaking to.
Would you perhaps try to spell
You
it
could
or
spell it out,
something?
yeah.